going back to the title, for ensuring the proper discharge of all the functions of the county executive.
Which Roman?
Roman I, section 30, subsection 2, Roman I.
So what I have, it says that by a decision notified in the County Gazette,
yes,
the governor shall assign to every member of the County Executive Committee responsibility to ensure the discharge of any function within the county and the provision of related services to the people.
So the governor does not just assign responsibilities to CECMs or indeed any other officer. They have to ensure the discharge of the relevant function, and going to the previous section, diligently, isn't it?
My understanding is that the governor shall assign to every member a responsibility. And this responsibility, it is to ensure the discharge of any function within the county and the provision of related services to the people.
Fair enough. Let's go to 3. Can you read the opening line to subsection 3?
In performing the functions under subsection 2, the governor shall.
It says the governor shall. So this section is speaking to an obligation of the governor, correct?
Yes, it is.
As a matter of fact, as the eminent lawyer you are, this is a mandatory obligation under the canons of interpreting the law, isn't it? The word shall, isn't it, connoting an obligation in the nature of a mandatory duty?
It is, but no, I mean it's I don't think it's mandatory.
Okay, we will live with that. But what does it say the governor shall do as per paragraph A?
Shall provide leadership in the county's governance and development.
The governor shall provide leadership in the county's governance.
Yes, and development.
So the governor is the leader when it comes to issues of governance in the county, isn't it?
Yes, and development.
You will agree with me, sir, the question of embezzlement of public funds is an issue in the realm of governance. Is it or is it not?
It is.
And if it is, and the statute says the governor shall provide leadership, it is not therefore open to the governor to throw junior officers under the bus when the statute says it is our responsibility. Correct or incorrect?
I have not said that the governor has thrown junior officers under the bus.
Our defense, if you have read it, is that it wasn't me, it was someone else. And to be precise, if you want me to quote our defense, she says, if this embezzlement occurred, it occurred under the care of other officials who are independently answerable to the county assembly and who independently bear responsibility. That's the defense I'm interrogating, my learned friend. Is that defense consistent with this paragraph A, which says the governor shall provide leadership on matters of governance?
I would beg to see that paragraph that you just quoted on the governor's defense.
Oh, we'll of course show it to you, sir.
Thank you.
Just a minute, Mr. Speaker. Open my...
As you do that, Dr. Mudomi, be mindful of the time. And if it's taking longer, you can move on to the next line of your questioning.
It is, I'm about just to, only that my computer is playing games with me, but I'll find it. It is paragraph 12, Mr. Speaker. And I'm sorry we lost time on this because my learned friends shouldn't really be denying something that is in black and white. Can you read paragraph 12 of the governor's response, sir? It will be on the smaller bundle of the governor's documents, Mr. Speaker.
You mean the paragraph appearing in page 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you read it for us?
The impeachment motion is, therefore, a means to a selfish end by the deputy governor, who is the ultimate beneficiary if the governor is removed from office. Indeed, the bulk of the allegations against Her Excellency the Governor largely constitute matters that this Senate found the governor not to be in wrongdoing during the first impeachment by the County Assembly. In any view, many of the said allegations are essentially matters within the docket of other county officials who bear responsibility and who, in law, are subject to oversight by the Assembly.
So, sir, that last sentence is the one I'm interested in because it is one of the many defenses of the governor that say it wasn't me, it was other officials. Is that defense, sir, consistent with the responsibility of the governor at the section 30, subsection 3, to provide leadership on matters of governance?
Yes, it is consistent.
Okay. Does it go to 3C? What does it say the governor shall do?
3C,
in our volume 3, we're still on section 30, sir.
okay.
Section C, subsection C of 3, what does it tell us the governor shall do?
In performing the functions under subsection 2, the governor shall promote democracy, good governance, unity, and cohesion within the county.
Now, sir, you again agree one of the responsibilities of the matters for which the governor is responsible is matters to do with governance. It is the section saying the governor is responsible for it. Correct or incorrect?
Yes, correct. Good governance.
It also talks of the governor bearing responsibility to promote unity and cohesion.
Yes, which in my opinion she has done.
Yes, but you also agree, sir, if by law this is a responsibility of the governor, if there are serious questions about governance, cohesion, and national unity, the governor can say, it wasn't me, crucify someone else. True or untrue, Mr. Munene?
This is a corrective responsibility because
No. Does it say it is a collective responsibility, or does the section say it is the responsibility of the governor?
The section says it's the responsibility of a governor.
Good.
But in other sections, there
Let's
are other,
stick to this one. We'll come to the other section.
other provisions for other leaders to promote the same.
Munene, you're a lawyer, you know the rules. I didn't ask about the other sections. We are talking about the governor. Let's go to the most beautiful of them, F. Can you read to the Senate? One of the things this section of the law says, the governor bears responsibility. What does it say at F?
In performing the function under subsection 2, the governor shall be accountable for the management and use of the county resources.
So the law already says the governor shall be accountable. Initially, we begin with the title of the section saying it is the responsibility of the governor. And now we are being told the governor is accountable. Correct or incorrect?
That is correct.
I put it to you, sir, that based on all these legal provisions, it is not legally open to the governor to say, it wasn't me.
And my response to that is that I have not seen any provision or anywhere the governor is saying it wasn't me.
Even after you read for us telling us it is the other officials and they are independently responsible? Mr. Speaker, I'm being told it's time to proceed for lunch. Maybe you can leave it at that point.
You still have got 7 minutes to go.
Oh, good. I had then read the signal wrongly from the... Mr. Dixon.
Yes, sir.
As a lawyer, to the best of your knowledge, is the government allowed to pay for goods not paid, not supplied, or services not yet rendered? Open for me that section. 45 of the anti-corruption.
For goods and services not yet rendered?
Yes, and I'll refer to you again to our volume 3, page 51.
Just take your time. Okay.
Volume 3, Mr. Speaker of our Badus. Have you reached there, Mr. Munene?
Yes, I have.
Section 45, subsection 2 of the Anti-Corruption and the Economic Crimes Act. You will agree that law is a Chapter 6 law. Am I right or wrong? It's a law that breathes life to Chapter 6 of our Constitution. Correct or incorrect?
Sorry?
Mr. Munene.
Sorry?
Is this law the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act?
Yes,
A law founded on Chapter 6 of our Constitution?
It's a law that was enacted even before the Chapter 6 of the Constitution.
Yes, but is it one of the laws, sir, that give effect to Chapter 6 of our Constitution? Either it is or it is not.
Yes, it does.
Good. It does. Now, at Section 45, what does it tell us public agencies should not do at subsection 2, Roman 2, and Roman 3? Does it say public agencies cannot pay for goods not supplied or supplied in full?
Sorry?
Does it forbid at page 51, Mr. Munene, the county government of Meru from paying for goods not supplied or supplied in full?
It says an officer or person whose functions concern the administration, custody, management, receipt, or use of any part of the public revenue or public property is guilty of an offense if the person fraudulently makes payment or excessive payment from public revenues for substandard or defective goods, for goods not supplied or not supplied in full, or services not rendered or not adequately rendered.
I am interested in payment for goods not supplied.
Fraudulent payment.
Yes. Of course, the Assembly's case is that these were fraudulent payments. We'll come there, sir. But you agree this section forbids advance payments for goods not paid, or rather supplied, and services not yet rendered.
For goods not supplied or not supplied in full.
So does that prohibit prepayment? On its face, either it does or it does not.
My understanding is that it prohibits payment for goods not supplied or not supplied in full.
So, on the IFMI's extract, when the IFMI says these are prepayments, 107 of them, Isn't a prepayment a payment for goods not supplied or services not rendered?
Prepayments are for the imprests.
Yes, sir, but you have
Recurrent
only
expenditure.
adduced a few imprests out of the 107 transactions. You've only adduced imprest for less than 10.
Because that was your particulars of the charge, which we responded to.
Let's
The
go, sir,
particulars.
to the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act. Section 56. If you can read it for the Senate.
No. It should be this document. Sorry, it's in volume 3?
Mr. Speaker, I don't believe that one was printed. It's section 146 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act.
You want the witness to read it out, the provisions of that particular section?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the witness is a lawyer. There should be no hardship in speaking to this issue. It's a legal issue.
Counsel, if it's an act of parliament, it's law. Whether you read it or not, that is what the law provides. So it's better you just go ahead and read.
Fair enough. Mr. Monene, you again confirm that law forbids advance payments. What is the title of that law? Section 146?
A minute. Okay. So in part. It's on advance payment.
And what does it say?
No works, goods or services contract shall be paid for before they are executed or delivered and accepted by the accounting officer of a procuring entity or an officer authorized by him or her in writing, except where so specified in the tender documents and contract agreements. So there is an exemption. Such an advance
Because there is
payment.
an exemption, many laws have an exemption.
Thank you.
In that note, we need to stop at that note. It's time to adjourn. You will pick it up from there in the afternoon.
Much obliged.
Dr. Tangoli, you will have a balance of 30 minutes when the session resumes in the afternoon to continue with your cross-examination. And Honorable Senators, it is now 1:15 p.m. time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until today at 2:30 p.m.
Sergeant at times, is there a problem with the witness's microphone? And Mr. Mnene, when you're responding, get closer to the microphone so that we can hear your response.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think it's now clearer.
Mr. Monene, you know there is a matter on the record. Are you saying the governor's explanation is not that the prepayments on these IFMIs were imprests, that our sister Rose Kinya and the other officers were holding?
The explanation is that it's a recurrent expenditure.
Can I refer you to page 8 of the governor's response? Are you there, Mr. Monene?
No, I am not.
Page 8 of the governor's response, Mr. Speaker.
Tell my advocate to guide me with documents. Tell them to give me the documents.
At page 8, paragraph 1.1.12, what is the explanation the governor offers?
As late as 15th August 2023, the mover of the motion at the County Assembly publicly through his Facebook page stated that the PA, driver and protocol people were entitled to facilitation. That's a statement of fact.
What does she say at paragraph 1.1.7 of our defense?
So which page?
Page 7.
However, no embezzlement of funds has been established. Rose receives money as an Imprest holder from time to time as per DMs.
Good. So you agree with me, sir? The governor's explanation for these prepayments, specifically the ones to our sister, is Imprest. It's there in black and white, Mr. Monene.
Yes, I agree, it's Imprest.
Good. To the best of your knowledge of the law, sir, can a public officer hold two Imprests at the same time?
What do you mean by two Imprests?
Exactly that. Two Imprests. Can an officer hold two concurrent Imprests?
Yes.
Are you familiar, sir, with the Public Finance Management, in bracket, County Government Regulations of 2015?
Yes, I am.
Can you read Regulation 93, paragraph 4, subparagraph B?
Regulation 93, it's on classes of Imprests.
Yes.
An Imprest shall be issued for a specific purpose, and any payments made from it shall be only for the purposes specified in the Imprest warrant. There are two types of Imprests, namely temporary or safari Imprests and standing Imprests.
If you pause there, the Imprest alluded to in the governor's response is the temporary or safari Imprest. Correct or incorrect?
I don't get the allusion.
You just read for us, sir, there are two types of Imprest.
Yes.
One is standing, and the other one is temporary, also known as safari. Now back to the defense you read for the governor. Didn't she say these were Imprest for per diems?
Yes.
Therefore, you would agree with me, the governor's explanation refers to temporary or safari Imprest. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
And in fact, we are told in subparagraph 3 that these are meant for official journeys. Correct or incorrect from the regulation?
Where?
The same page you're looking at, Regulation 93, subparagraph 3.
Says that temporary Imprests shall be issued mainly in respect of official journeys and are intended to provide officers with funds with which they can meet traveling, accommodation, and incidental expenses.
Sir, is it possible for an officer to be on several safaris on the same day, so that they would have several Imprests on the same day?
I don't think there is a place where we have gotten several Imprests.
Just answer my question, sir. We will get there. Is it possible for a human being to be on 5 safaris on the same day?
It depends.
It depends.
Yes.
That takes me to paragraph 4, subparagraph B. Can you read it for the Senate?
Still on Regulation 93?
Of course, sir.
Before issuing temporary imprests under paragraph 2, the accounting officer shall ensure that the main objective of the journey cannot be achieved by other cheaper means. B, the applicant has no outstanding imprests.
Good.
C,
The accounting of
this whole proceeding or this whole sitting and the hearing will be taking place. Remember, after the sitting starts at 9 a.m. or once the chair is taken, the members will be retreating to have a pre-hearing meeting of the senators in a closed door session. Then they will be resuming to the chambers at around 11 according to the order of business for the day, and then the hearing will be open to the public. But I look at what exactly this governor faces is that when the Senate received the resolutions from the county assembly pursuant to standing order 80 over the House on the procedure for removal of a governor, is that within 7 days after receiving notice of a resolution from the Speaker of a county assembly supporting the removal of a governor of a county, of course pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, there are 2 options. The Speaker of the Senate shall convene a meeting of the Senate to hear the charges against the governor, and in this case the House can make a resolution on whether to hear these proceedings or these accusations at a committee stage or at plenary. And what we understand is that the House on Tuesday resolved to have these matters investigated and determined at the plenary. So today marks the beginning of the official hearing over the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the governor of Meru County. And like I told you earlier, is that the Speaker will be getting into the chambers, give a communication, of course guiding the House on how this whole process will take place, and the senators will be retreating to a closed session. I now hand you over to this live broadcast. Good morning.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with abundant favor and blessings us, your servants, whom we have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen.
Honorable Speaker, the process going on in this House is very, very important for the people of Meru who are representing this House, Mr. Speaker. And when I see just a long CS gets out there to make some very funny comments on social media, it is very, very embarrassing, and he is not serving, or whatever he is doing is not for the best interest of the Meru people. And I want to warn him that they should keep off Meru affairs. Let them concentrate with the work that he has been given by the President. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I will request actually on this matter, the other majority leader on the other house to actually start processing an impeachment motion to this CS. And Honorable Speaker, on this matter, as Honorable Kajanga has put it, after this process is done, I would request that Moses Kuria is gone back to this house, is brought before us so that we can discipline him. Otherwise, he is an embarrassment to the people who voted for the Kenya Kwanza government. And he should be relieved of his duties immediately. So the President should take notice what this house has, the comments you are giving us this house, Mr. Speaker. And I want from now henceforth, let Moses Kuria give us peace as Meru community. We don't want their support. We know what we want, and we know what the best we can do, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sifuna.
Mr. Speaker, I am happy that we have come full circle, because this is something that I have said on many stages, that in fact Moses Kuria is an incorrigible national shame. Mr. Speaker, one of the things that I ask myself is just how much embarrassment does the president have capacity to endure? And I can assure you that if nothing is done about Moses Kuria, there is more embarrassment coming. That one I can guarantee. Mr. Speaker, what is most hurtful is that even after your communication, the CS who ordinarily should be asleep thinking about how he's going to make the lives of Kenyans better had the audacity to fire off another tweet on material that was presented before this House. Mr. Speaker, what I want us to do, honestly speaking, action must be taken. I am actually made aware by the members of this House who represent us in the PSC that Moses Kuria ran away with money belonging to Parliament. He should actually be brought to answer questions about those things and removed from his position, because for me, really, there's nothing that brings me greater joy than being proven right about the things that I've said about this administration. And I just want the majority leader, please, about this administration, because as you have said yourself, it casts very serious doubt on the capacity of the appointing authority. How much embarrassment can the president take? It's just one man, Mr. Speaker. So what we want to do, as they said, there's a famous poem by Martin Niemöller. First, he came for the media. And when I brought a motion of censure for the media, some of you are saying, oh, Sifuna is in the habit of attacking this government. Now he has come for the Senate. Do something. Do something about this national shame, because it will continue unabated. That is who Moses Kuria is. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wamatinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I also like to weigh on this important matter. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is time that we as a country would stand up and be counted with one voice and tell the president that he should not be held hostage by some of these log ministers he has appointed to the government. Mr. Speaker, sir, at this time when Kenyans are suffering from high cost of living, the least that we need are these ministers who cannot even pronounce them to the policy direction, but instead they take it to the tweet and the media to actually abuse and belittle this House. Mr. Speaker, sir, I do join ranks with my colleagues. It is the high time we tell the president he must put the House in order. Some of these cabinet secretaries, Mr. Speaker, they are a big shame to the nation. The only thing that they can do, Mr. Speaker, when we complain of high cost of living, they tell us to go and dig our wells to produce our oil. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is unacceptable. And I would want to put it in no unmistakable terms. Central region is no shortage of intelligent people who are capable of learning the docket that Kuria is learning, and he should be shown the door as early as today, Mr. Speaker. We have the power, Mr. Speaker, to tell the president that indeed such a CS like Moses Kuria should be fired, if not yesterday, today in the morning, Mr. Speaker. It is a great shame to this House and to the nation indeed that someone at the middle of the night, instead of addressing the pertinent issues that are confronting Kenyans, he would take with a cup of, Mr. Speaker, sir, he should be fired.
Senator Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute on this important matter. Mr. Speaker, I just want to generalize my comments because there's an observation I have made. Many of our leaders want to destroy institutions who have a responsibility of making sure that our country runs properly. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Moses Kuria is somebody I've been in Parliament with for many years, including yourself. To a large extent, we have found him extremely intelligent and somebody who made sense. To some extent, he makes himself look such a foolish man, you wonder whether he even ever stepped into a parliamentary house. And yet, sometimes Moses doesn't understand that what he says means a lot to Kenyans. And indeed, our words have consequences. I would really want to plead with him and many other leaders to realize that these houses, the National Assembly and the Senate, are not just talking shops. This is a place where we discuss national policy. This is a place where we influence public opinion. And this is a place where it is assumed that we'll be providing direction on where our country is going. I really would like, Mr. Speaker, to plead with anybody who knows Moses like I do and many others. We talk to him and tell him that he has to up his game. At this rate, all of us are going to become his enemy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, we've done 3 senators each from each side. Now, honorable senators, this cannot be a house of lamentations. This is a house of action. Pursuant to the point of order that has been raised by the majority leader, I implore upon you, honorable senators, to use or to take full advantage of the standing orders to bring sanity to some of these CSs. You have the power under the law, more particularly under standing orders, to deal with the kind of behavior that you're complaining about. So, honorable senators, if you feel indeed that the behavior of the CS is unbecoming, then invoke the relevant standing orders. If you listen to Senator Kajwang carefully, you may not be able to have that latitude to make a final resolution to send the Honorable CS home. But your recommendation to the other house will have a lot of weight. So kindly take full advantage of our standing orders and stamp your authority. Clerk, call the next order.
Order number 2, hearing and determination of the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County.
Now, honorable senators and the parties to this matter, we concluded the case of the County Assembly yesterday. Today we're going to begin hearing the case of the Governor. We have 4 hours within which to prosecute and hear the defense by the Governor. The 4 hours is minus the time given to senators for questions and clarifications. So the Governor and his team, you will have a solid 4 hours to put forth your defense. If you're ready, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members of the Senate. For record purposes, my name is Elias Mutuma, counsel appearing for the Governor in this matter. Within the 4 hours that we have, we intend to call 4 witnesses in support of our case. All these witnesses have filed their respective affidavits, which also double as our witness statements. Without much ado, allow me call our first witness, Nicholas Kenywa Josephat. His affidavit, Mr. Speaker, sir, appears on our blue booklet, which is titled The Governor's Response, at page 86 onwards.
You have 2 booklets, one big, one small.
It is the smaller one.
So just refer those 2 as small and big for ease of reference.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Kindly swear the witness. Swear in the witness, please.
I, Nicholas Kenya Josephat, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this Senate in respect of the matters before the Senate shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Witness, kindly introduce yourself for record purposes.
I am Nicholas Kenya Josephat, others referred to as Kenya Mona, elected member of County Assembly representing Nyaki East.
The County Assembly of which county?
Meru County.
Thank you. Mr. Nicholas Kenya, have you read the motion for impeachment?
Yes, I have.
That is before the Senate?
Exactly.
Have you also had a chance to look at the governor's response that has been filed?
I have also gone through it.
Have you filed an affidavit in support of the response by the governor?
Yes, I have.
Is it the affidavit contained in that response appearing at page 86 all the way to page 89?
It is.
Do you wish to rely completely on the avowals in that affidavit?
I wish to rely on it.
Thank you. I will ask you very few questions, targeted questions for the purposes of this motion. Being a member of the County Assembly of Meru, you are privy to the political happenings in Meru County. Am I right?
Very right.
It has been said that the governor of Meru has been unable to work with any of the elected leaders, specifically members of County Assembly. Is that your position?
It is not my position.
Has the governor been able to work with members of County Assembly of Meru?
Exactly after the first impeachment, the governor made peace with majority, if not all, of the members of County Assembly, and we have had a good working relationship.
Yesterday, counsel for the County Assembly said that that marriage was lasted for a few weeks after the first impeachment. Is that the position? And if it's not the position, how long did that harmonious working relationship last?
I can confirm that we have been having a good working relationship with the governor after the first impeachment. It cannot be said that it lasted for a few weeks because it has been so until mid-September when cracks and crises were introduced to the members of County Assembly.
You allude to cracks and?
Cracks, walls, incitements.
Were introduced to members of County Assembly?
Exactly.
Who introduced these cracks to the members of County Assembly, to the best of your assessment and knowledge?
Much of what happened and what has brought us here is incitement to the members of County Assembly, mostly by members of Parliament, that is members of National Assembly, as well as other political leaders in Meru who may not be elected at the moment.
Thank you. You have had a chance to look at the motion for impeachment.
Yes.
Do you believe that the governor is guilty of any of the charges that she is facing?
I'll say not guilty.
Why do you say so?
Simply because if you look at the allegations, many of them do not impute any wrongdoing on the governor herself. At the same time, I know the decision of the County Assembly of Meru through 59 members to impeach the governor cannot be termed as what was their own decision at their free will. There was incitement, there was coercion, as will be demonstrated later.
Thank you. Let us actually demonstrate that right now. You're saying that the County Assembly of Meru did not exercise their mind fully in interrogation of these issues, that they were acting on intimidation and other forces. Kindly explain that to the Senate.
I'm saying the members were not freely exercising their decisions because some were coerced by political parties that they serve through their leaders. Others, it was a kind of a campaign where some of the MCAs were promised that if the governor goes and the deputy governor takes the seat, there will be the doubling of one development funds from the current 15 million that is given by the governor to 30 million. And that one brought some sense of excitement among the members, as well as pushing them to impeach the current governor.
Mr. Nicholas Kenywa.
Yes.
Were you at any point approached and given an incentive to support the motion for impeachment? And if so, what was the nature of that incentive?
Now, one of the incentives to impeach the governor was the promise that once she goes, the one development fund will be doubled from 15 million to 30 million. Of course, there were other inducements, like some MCAs being promised that there will be CEC members in the executive once the governor goes. Some of them were promised to be chief officers.
Honorable witness, listen to your counsel and answer his question.
Thank you.
The question was very specific. Were you approached and given any kind of incentive? And if you are, what kind of incentive? That was the question from your counsel.
Yes, I was.
By whom? Who approached you, and what kind of incentive were you given?
Some of the incentives was a monetary inducement.
By who? Who approached you?
Now, one of the person who was sent to offer a monetary inducement was a friend of mine known as Kimathi. He told me that he has been sent. If I accept to send away the governor, I can get an amount.
Let us go to paragraph 7 of your affidavit. You make certain allegations there. Kindly substantiate what you mean.
You said paragraph
7 of your affidavit appearing at page 87.
I can confirm that the deputy governor also called me and several other members of the county assembly where he sought my support in the impeachment of the governor, and in return he would double our warrant development fund from 15 million to 30 million.
Is it your evidence before this Senate that the deputy governor of Meru actually called you in person?
Yes, it is.
For your support in this impeachment motion?
Yes, it is.
Is it also your evidence that the deputy governor of Meru issued a specific incentive of increasing the ward development fund from 15 million to 30 million as an exchange for your support in this impeachment motion?
I can confirm the same, not only to myself but to other members of the county assembly. It was a promise.
Did you accept the incentive?
Personally, I did accept it. I took it to be...
Did or did not?
I did not.
You did not?
I did not accept it.
Yes.
I took it to be a mere campaign promise that may not materialize, knowing the kind of finance you are getting from the national government as a county.
Are you aware if any of your colleagues at the county assembly accepted the incentive?
Majority of them bought the idea, and